Alright guys, welcome back to the weekend. So this is the fourth coat of paint I put on this, and then we'll come back with some 1200 grit and sand it smooth. But I'm pretty impressed with how flat this paint lays out, and it's Rust-Oleum topside bright red gloss. So deck's looking really nice. Definitely we'll be able to get a coat of primer or two on it, and maybe a coat or two of the cherry red. So deck's coming along fine. It does take a couple coats of the red to really brighten up from the primer, but overall I'm pretty impressed with it. So I'll continue on doing this, and we'll pick this up tomorrow, probably working on the engine some more. So let's get to it. Alright, so it's the next day, and we ran into trouble with our fuel tank. The shut-off valve that threads into the tank, the thread's stripped out of it. So a new tank's about 70 bucks, and that's if you can find one. I'm gonna do an epoxy fix. So I'm gonna use some PC7 epoxy, and we're gonna fill in the hole, drill it, and the instructions say that this is self-tapping threads are on this. So I'm hoping that it'll just thread right into place and we don't have to worry about it. So I took a piece of little masking tape and I stuck it on the very bottom of it so it won't get into the screen on the fuel tank. So now I'm just going to mix up some PC7 and put it in there and let it cure. Also picked up some black paint for the tank, some Krylon all-in-one, and that will hopefully fix the tank. If it doesn't fix it, then I'll have to be looking for a tank somewhere. So if only Briggs did a steel tank. So I got to clean up the nub here and do some cosmetic work. I do have Click It and Stick It working on the sticker, and they said it'd be about 2 weeks. So that's where that is at the moment. Engine wise, I just painted up the throttle spring so it looked a little bit more presentable. But I did get the fuel filter and new gas line ran to the carburetor. So that looks nice, and that's a 40 micron filter from Briggs & Stratton, and it's the 691035 is the part number. So it's got a little bit thicker plastic, and it's not that little hockey puck filter, which those work just fine, but I like to see the gas going into it. So that's the progress we've made so far. On the deck, we're about to put another coat of primer on it, and I just had to sand it this morning and get all the rough spots out of it. So I'll be working on that, and then we can also work on the cover here. It needs just a little bit of a bath. So that is where we're at. So let me get going on the gas tank and painting the deck, and we'll go from there. So let's go to it. Alright, there's the coat of primer on it. Just got it propped up on a 5-gallon bucket. So primer went on just fine. Probably only going to do one coat of it because it wasn't really heavily rusted. And I did spray it on a little bit thicker where it was rusted right there. That's really the only bad rust spot on this thing. So I'll let this dry, and then we'll come back and give it a coat of red or two. So this is the second coat of red I just put on, so you can see the red's coming out a lot more. I'm working on the gas tank. I filled it with the PB stuff, so I'm just letting that sit and set up, and then I'm probably just going to drill it out to a letter R size for a 1/8 27 pipe tap, and then I'll thread the the shutoff valve in there, and hopefully it'll hold up. And in the meantime, we got the air cleaner box out and painted that up, so that's starting to look real nice. And this stuff lays down pretty nice too, so that'll be also what the gas tank gets painted in. And so far it's doing a good job. It's still a little tacky, so I'm not going to touch it. But anyway, that's how it's looking so far. Still have yet to work on the front end here. It just goes up like so. Probably take off the axle and all the bracketry and give it a good sanding, and then attach it to the deck and then paint it, because it's easier to just paint everything red at once and then come back and hand do the lettering on it. It looks like they almost hand did it on there, but you can tell there's probably a template they had they just sprayed right over. So alright, let's get back to waiting for paint to dry. Alright, so we let the gas tank cure overnight. I did paint the bottom of it, but I didn't paint the top just because we're going to have it laying down while we're trying to tap this. So I have a 21/64 drill, which is just under the letter R size, and you're just going to try to be the best centered we can be and then drill it. I don't want to go too fast because I don't want to pierce that filter screen. I can just barely see the tape. And there we go. So that worked like a champ. So, well, you can kind of see it, but we didn't go through the screen. Probably helps that there's a little bit of a lip separating the screen out. So now we got our valve here. And I don't know about self-tapping, but let's see how good it goes here. Of course, it helps if the threads are straight. If it's not self-tapping, I do have a tap. Might have to use the tap to start it out. So these are a 1/8 inch 27 pipe tap. So this is thanks to those estate sales I went to. And they're pretty much a self-centering tap because they're tapered. But it looks like it's not hard enough. So even though I go to tap it, the threads don't have enough structure and it just kind of just blows itself out. I'll try going up one size. So what we got? 21/32. And we need 11/32. See if that helps us out any. frame. There you go. Oh. It felt like it was going in, but then it just blew out the that didn't work at all. Well, I really don't want to epoxy one of these in there, but might try JB Weld. I've had good luck with using this PC7 in the past. This stuff. I've had good luck using it, and I guess it's just not hard enough. But I do know JB Weld will harden up. I just think it's hard to get it to stick well with the plastic. I mean, worst comes to worst, I go to work and I drill this out a little bit bigger, and I make a steel plug that has a 1/8 27 tap down inside of it. So I could tap this to like 1/2 13 and then have the inner diameter be the 1/8 27 pipe tap, and then we just epoxy that steel sleeve into there, and that way we can still thread our nipple onto there. So I mean, it's not a complete waste of time. We did try, but I guess I'll have to open that hole up to a 1/2 13, thread it, and then make a steel insert at work and thread that down in there with some Loctite and some adhesive or something. So that way we can thread our shutoff valve into our tank. So lesson learned. I'm not doubting the strength of PC7. I might have not let it set up for the proper amount of time, but it's a good product, don't get me wrong. But I think this fix will be a more permanent solution, and that way we're not relying too much, and if we ever have to service this again, we'll have no problem in threading this out and blowing whatever debris out we need, or if you need to change this out. So this is like a $10 Briggs & Stratton part. So this week I will make that insert, and we'll get back going on this tank. I did strip all the stickers off of it and gave it a quick little sanding. There is some weathering right there on the end, but the bottom is that Krylon spray paint, so I mean that looks pretty dang good. But we'll come to this later. I gotta go to the store, and I'm gonna pick up the screws to mount the air cleaner assembly. Briggs & Stratton wants $7 a piece for these things, and I'm pretty sure I can go to a regular hardware store and just pick up some cap head screws like this and just, you know, screw it in. So we'll be dealing with that. I believe these are just a 1/4 20. I'll go take one off of the 88, and we'll get that going. So that is where we are today. So let me go to the store and pick up a few things. Alright, I made it back from the store, and I found a couple Allen head bolts, screws, that will work just fine. They didn't have a 1032 like the 88, but they had these, and Briggs has them for like $6 or $7 a pop. So just peel and stick here. Doesn't really matter how you do it, as long as you line up the holes like so. Smooth it out, and there's your gasket. I'll probably put a washer on this hole just because, but let's install this new air box and see how it looks here. The screws are a little long, but that's not hurting nothing. And just a little number 10 washer. On it. Alright, there's our box. Now I did buy a pre-filter, and it says do not oil right on the filter. And I also got a new air filter. Let's open those up. And this is part number 399039. This one says made in USA. Look at that. And this one says made in the USA. Look at that, 2 in a row. I don't know if this one, oh, here it is. So here's the old filter that came with it. So before and after. This one's probably original to the machine. So we're going to fix that with this nice new one. So it goes on there like so. Place foam side against paper element. That goes like that. And then our back, you know, let's just make it simple here. Just lay it down in there and lay that one down. There's our bolt. Thought I forgot the bolt right there. Alright, so there is our air box installed on our engine. So the only thing left on this thing is the gas tank and then that little plastic cover that goes over this. So I'm washing and painting that one right now. But until I can squeeze in a little time at work, this will be all that I can do on this thing. I don't want to paint this quite yet because I'm going to have it on its back working on this hole. So I did already tap it for a 1/2-13. If I really have to, I could go a little bit bigger in case it doesn't fit just right. So that'll be a better solution to what we got to do. But we'll go check on the deck and then we'll conclude this video. So let's go look at the deck here. Alright, I think this is the 4th or 5th coat that I've put on it, and I think we'll probably do a light sanding and then maybe come back with a clear coat, and then the main body of the deck will be done. So that'll be exciting. And then over here we got the top of the motor drying. So the motor is like 90% done, so our focus is going to shift toward more of the deck work and probably, you know, cleaning up the drive system, getting that back up and going, cleaning all that, and then probably going back and forth between the handles and the deck, and then go through the transmission and the whole back axle, shine it up, make it look good, you know. So that'll conclude this part in the series, guys. So thanks for watching and subscribing, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.